All right, everybody, welcome to the third episode of the Digital Film Reel podcast. Wow, it has been a crazy, crazy night tonight. Uh, had a lot of technical difficulties, but we finally got mostly everything up and running. So happy, happy that we are finally here. Today we're going to be talking about the fifth. Is it the fifth? Yeah, the fifth episode of the Book of Boba Fett. And today with me we have my brother Gavin, we have Kevin, and we have Will. Will's light is still broken, so he's just gonna be using his Discord screen right there.
Yellow logo.
Sorry guys, I just realized I had you guys muted. I'm so sorry. How about everybody say hi to the to the viewers?
Yo.
Hello, all the viewers.
There we go. All right. So, guys, we're going to start out by getting into spoilers on this episode because there is a ton to talk about. Holy cow, this was a crazy episode. Did you guys enjoy this one?
Yes, I enjoyed the part 2 to the final season of Mandalorian.
No. It was episode 1 of Mandalorian season 3. That's
is that what it is? Okay.
Yes, that's clearly what it is. Oh man, yeah. So I had a ton of fun watching this. I watched it a couple times. I can't say it's my favorite Book of Boba Fett episode because it doesn't even have Boba Fett.
He's not even in it.
He's not even in the episode. So, I'd say it's my favorite Mandalorian season 3 episode. It is definitely my favorite of season 3.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Mine
too. Maybe.
Oh man, so I want to start out. I got some notes here. Let's see. So this episode was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, who has done episodes of The Mandalorian. She's also, she's very famous. She's been in all kinds of stuff. I always like her episodes that she does. I like her directing style. So I was really happy to see that she got to do the one that the Mandalorian came back in. I think she did an excellent job doing that. Do you guys want to start out by talking about your thoughts? Who wants to go first here?
And I got a checklist here too, so
Yeah.
Can I go scene by scene, I guess?
Yep, that's what I've got it written down as well, scene by scene.
Start with the opening scene, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go right
Go
ahead.
for it. Go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Kevin, you going? Did you have something?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I just, right from the get, we had the, they went off of kind of the tease they had last week of the music for Din Djarin, and then we come in right, the whole episode was Mando.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting that he, in the opening sequence, we see him in his classic routine.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes and starts using the Darksaber instead of the spear.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting. You had, I thought the combat sequence was pretty cool with him getting, the only real injury I think they actually did to him when he got his hand bit, and then the most extreme injuries I think he actually did to himself.
Yes,
with hitting himself with the Darksaber.
He hit
I think that's worse than anything the actual guys did to him.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he got bit on the hand.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yes. Yeah. That was a great opening scene. What?
I like the walk-in silhouette of when we pan right to him behind there. I like how we're automatically able to find out that it's him just because of the spear that he has on his back.
Yeah. As soon as he walked in, I was like, "That's not Boba. That's not Boba."
Yeah.
For
I definitely
one, we're not
like
the Tatooine.
It hit me very hard because I thought it was going to be later, them going to find him or something.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
Yep.
Them going right off of his story continuation. I love that.
Yeah.
I think that you had the very classic, cowboy entering the bar.
Yes.
Scene with him, the shadow profile in the door. I thought was a very classic, kind of going back to the Lone Stranger motif that you saw throughout the entire Mandalorian series, especially the first season.
Yes. it just reminded me so much of that first season of Mandalorian.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was a nice change.
Yeah.
From Boba Fett,
especially after he fights them off and goes into the room to find the bounty. It just brought so much memory to what's the place where the clones are and stuff in the first season. I think it was the first or second episode when it's just he has so many
the clones, you mean the
entering scenes
stormtroopers?
like that. Yeah,
Yes, in the first season when he's
oh yeah, the
when
5 versus 1. He says, "I like those." I was waiting for that line, but he didn't use it.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed that opening scene. I've heard some people complain about it though. They're saying it looks too real world, like in that butcher shop there, where all the Clatoonians are. They're wearing like
I would have,
what like guys
yeah,
would wear.
I can see that.
And, like
Yeah.
people are saying it doesn't feel like Star Wars, but I'm like, what else are they gonna wear? Come on.
I would have maybe. I think I do get what they're saying because it did just look like they put some aliens in a regular,
Yes.
butcher shop.
Yep.
With like, I think it would have at least in my mind would have kind of turned that around if they had like a 6-legged animal in the background, or like what they had in the concept art in the trailer. They had a bunch of weird bull heads.
Yeah.
Like alien creature.
Yeah. Make
cow
it
heads
feel a
going
little
through
bit.
the
like, what do you
shop.
guys think? Because it seemed like the meat that they were doing was specific because they were all the same shape and they were all using the same. I was thinking maybe, do you know Nerfs from the Nerf?
No.
The Nerfs? No.
No, I don't know.
Well, they're basically the cow. They're an intelligent cow from, right?
Okay.
I think they're
Yes,
a little
What was in
larger.
the what
They're
was
like
in
bulls,
the
yeah.
what was in the concept art? Was that what that was?
I think it was Nerf. Yeah, it just had Nerf
Okay.
heads
Oh,
on
okay.
each side
Yeah.
as he went in the room.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to does anybody else have anything else they want to say about that opening scene?
I think you had, again, just tying back to the way, the honorable, this, I have a job, he doesn't negotiate with the guy, he doesn't pretend, he doesn't even like lead him on thinking he's just like, no, I have a job to do this, and this is what I'm gonna do.
I could bring you
none
in
of the money
cold or
none of the money
whatever he
none of the
says.
money's his. He doesn't take any of the money. He's come there to collect the bounty one way or another, and that's it.
Yeah. And the
Very,
bounty
very
the
classic.
bounty he's after it's not the money at all. It's the information on where the other Mandalorians are. Because I heard a lot of people saying, well, it's kind of weird that he just went back to being a bounty hunter after all the stuff he's done in the last 2 seasons.
I don't think he ever really stopped.
Yeah, I know. Like his mission was to deliver Grogu to the Jedi. That was his mission for those 2 seasons, and he completed that. So now he's like, I gotta find the rest of the Mandalorians and
what's left of them.
reunite with them because most of them died trying to help Din Djarin get Grogu out of the clutches of the Empire or the former Empire. So he's just. I heard a lot of people being like, "Well, that's weird." I'm like, "It's not weird at all. That makes complete sense."
I don't think he really stepped. He never stepped out of that mercenary role.
Yeah, and then he also picked up some other jobs along the way. In
contrast to Boba Fett, he is clearly trying to cut away from that life. We have, I think at 1 through 3 or 4, kind of, he gives hints, but then he just, or it might have been 3 where he's talking to Fennec about it. He's like, I'm done working for stupid people who are going to get me killed.
Yeah, exactly. So, I thought that it just made sense for Mando to go back to doing what he was doing because now he's he reunited back with his fellow Mandalorians. And
well, before we get to that point, I think the cantina scene was kind of interesting, but I did like the elevator scene.
Yes,
that made me laugh out loud. That was such a good, that person obviously knows where they are. Yeah, and it kind of gives you an idea of what the habitat ring was.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this kind of stuff. Like, he kind of looks at the bag, looks back at the guy, and the guy looks at you, and he's like, "Nope, I didn't see anything. What are you talking? I'm looking forward. I'm looking
Where he's
forward.
just
Don't
carrying
make eye
the head
contact."
around.
Yep.
Yeah.
just
Uh,
just casually
well,
walking through the
let's
back
talk about
alleys.
the head for a second.
Well-
I wanted to mention that, like, the gruesomeness of that scene where it's like he literally just like he doesn't care. He just messes those guys up. Like, he literally
Yep.
cuts that guy in half and then he decapitates him. Like, that's on another level that we haven't we haven't
brought him in
seen
cold.
much. It's really so.
Yeah.
I like that's the stuff that I wish we would have been seeing from Boba Fett, not whatever we've gotten of Boba Fett so far. So it's like, I don't know. I love to see.
I mean,
Mando
he did
do it, but I'm
completely like ebliterate a guy in episode 2.
yes.
The assassin. That we didn't get like any blood splatter because I don't think that's really Disney's thing. And
Yeah.
like that, I feel like that's the whole thing. Like, okay, lightsabers cauterize the wound and all this stuff, and then he like shoots his missile at the guy, and he's like instantly incinerated.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I just wish we'd see more of that kind of stuff from Boba in.
A little bit harder.
Yeah, we got to see a little bit in the last episode where he shoots the what was the biker gang called? The
something riders, I forget. But yeah, when
I'm
he
drawing a
just
blank on their name.
completely mows them down.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got to see a little bit of him doing that. But there's even commentary in the actual show. I can't remember who I was talking to. It was either Kevin or Gavin. I don't remember which one it was, but we were talking about how they say it in the actual show that Boba is soft, and he's like, no, I'm sorry. So it's like it's almost self-aware that people aren't sure about what Boba has become. So
yeah, I think the Watermonger brings that up in like episode 3.
yeah, and then Fennec does as well in episode 4.
I think she says, you don't want to continue to, or something along the lines.
She says something like, living with the Tuskens has made you soft, and he says no.
That's
strong.
in the
like it's like blatant. It's just like right in his face, like saying, "Hey, no, you're soft now," and he's like, "No, I'm not." But it's like you kind of are. You haven't really proven to me.
Well,
that you
what I
aren't.
think. What I think what people are looking what they're trying to contrast there, and more overarching the story is true strength versus brutal callousness.
Yeah,
because you see that in Mando, he just brutally murders 4 guards.
Yeah.
Like he didn't pull any punches. He slices the rest of the. I mean, well, I take that back. He did let one go. That the guy that bit him and he knocked in his, got punched in the face. But
bunch of them go. Said you could go in that room and I'll leave you guys alone.
Yeah. Well, I think that was like in part due that he's like, I can't take on 20 guys, even if they're not at all coordinated like the guards were. I can't take these guards on. Go have that money.
Yeah. But I wish you'd see a little bit more oomph from Boba, because even when we see him fighting, like anyone, I don't think we've seen him actually win a fight other than that sand creature from episode 2.
Well, you did see I think when he rescues, or when he comes in even without the suit, right before he gets the suit in the Mandalorian series, he just brutally massacres that entire squad.
But that's not in his own show. That's in a different show.
Well, but neither was Mando's,
I know,
hard behavior.
But
you have
Mando
like a coin.
done
You have like
before.
a coin flip here.
But Mando's done that in his own show before. He's been like, he is proven to.
That's true. The first episode, he did like cut a guy in half.
Yeah, Boba's just been slightly inconsistent in that regard, but I don't know. I think he
has gotten softer. Well, no, I think he has.
I think he's become more empathetic to others, because I think, like you said, he's looking beyond. He's looking beyond just like the
mentally
he's
strong.
Trying to,
exactly.
He's trying
talking
to build,
about trying.
because he's like the reason he didn't just like take out Chrysanthemum when he had the opportunity to like spite the Hutts or whatever. He's like, no, I'm gonna let you go, because now he's recruited Chrysanthemum because he's
Yep.
trying to be smart about it. But
Yep.
I don't know. I in the regards of like when Boba is actually fighting people, I wish that he had like almost the the brutality almost that Mando showed in the opening of this.
Yeah, they just
this
haven't
episode.
really placed him in that kind of, other than when the guards attacked him, and he was fairly, he fought like everyone else when he was fighting for his life.
Yeah.
But they just really haven't put him in another combat scenario except for Chris when he fought Chrysanthemum, and he just got his butt kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
To be fair, I think anyone would probably get their butt kicked by Chrysanthemum.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
yes,
all
that
7 of
too.
them did.
Yeah.
All freaking 7 of
Even
them did until
even the
he happened to step
Gamorreans.
on one of the trapdoors.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man. Yeah. So I mean, the Chrysanthemum fight is that's understandable, but it's like every time
Yeah.
we've seen him like fight people, he hasn't really delivered. But I feel like the way the show is going, they are definitely ramping that kind of stuff up,
Yeah.
and they are going to, because with the commentary in the episode, even with Fennec Shan saying that you're soft, and he says no, I'm strong. I think that they're trying to like throw the viewers off, the viewers, like making us want to see that so much that when they actually show it, we're just gonna be like, yes, and we're gonna be super excited because it's going to be a big payoff. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Like they've done this deliberately to make us feel the exact way that I'm feeling right now.
Right.
And then showing Mando doing the things we want to see Boba doing is just amping it up even more.
Yeah, it's even more of a kind of teasing that idea of how I don't know, not combat ready, but how I guess just how much of a warrior these guys are amongst, really, other than the Wookiees and what's the lizard people called?
The Trandoshans.
The Trandoshans. There's not a lot of warrior, like true warrior races.
Yeah.
In the show, in Star Wars universe,
except for Mandalorians.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like you have Mandalorians, you've got Kashyyyk, you've got the Wookiees, and you've got the Trandoshans.
Yeah, the Mandalorians,
which are now all also in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's interesting.
I'm excited to see what they do with Boba in the future. I want to see what they're building up to with that, and I think that this episode is just a huge tease towards that, and obviously the previous episode, and they're definitely building up to that. But we can kind of get into the elevator scene there a little bit, because I wanted to talk about like the techniques that they used for that scene, because I thought that
I want everybody's opinion first on the intro sound, the music.
Oh,
how
yes,
they combine.
Yes, I wrote that down too.
Oh, that was great.
That
I
was
thought they did
awesome.
great.
That
in
was
the finale. I think
they
did that.
And the thing is that they must have created the Boba Fett thing to go perfectly with that, because it made it was great.
I
think that was definitely.
I need a soundtrack. I need a soundtrack.
I think they've released some of the soundtrack, but I think it was only to like episode 4 or something like that. I don't.
Makes sense.
I think that's something that they did, but they haven't released the entirety of it because I think they're waiting for the rest of the series to come out. So, so when the whole series comes out, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to find that song somewhere. Yeah, I loved it when I heard both of those together. I was just like, yeah. Oh, I was happy when I heard that. But getting into that elevator sequence, I thought it was really, really interesting, and I want to see behind the scenes for that, because I'm pretty sure they did it with the the big screen with the Unreal Engine there. But the thing is, it's a tracking shot, so they're tracking Mando through the whole thing. And I've watched it I've watched it a few times, and I can't find a spot where they could have easily cut it and then did multiple takes. So I'm trying to figure out like how did they do that? Because obviously you're following Mando. He goes into the elevator, and then it's still the same set. He's just standing in the elevator, and they're in front of that screen there, and then the screen
Yep.
makes it look like it's going up, and then he
Yeah.
comes out, but he's in another room, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how did they
What-
do that?
Were there any?
Maybe-
Were there any? Did a door open? You know, like sometimes they put something in front of the screen to pan, and then they cut that way. But
I don't.
if they didn't do anything like that, then I have no idea.
Yes, there
Well, actually,
is
they show.
there is a wall where when he first walks into the elevator before going upstairs, right?
Yeah.
There is a wall because this elevator is in the corner of the room. So what if they pushed it along? Because if they could do anything with the screen in the back, so
Yeah.
they can make the screen go up and shift
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, because it's tracking to the actual camera.
It
So
tracks
wherever
the
the camera's
right.
moving, they can track it to that. So
That-
they could do
yeah.
that. That's a potential. I
Yeah.
just don't
It'd
know.
be cool to see.
Yeah.
I think Star Trek. I think the first of the new Star Treks did a similar. They didn't have a background to play with, but they did show how they actually had a bridge set,
Yep.
and then they actually like showed like a team pulling the bridge set away, and then they actually put a portion of like they had the like you were saying. They had. I think they actually rotated part of the way around, and then they had the other set of where Spock came out and was in engineering, because they did with the Mandalorian, they had a seamless transition in and out of the elevator. But because his elevator was solid, the turbo lifts and on the Enterprise were solid, so they just had they actually had it rotate, and they actually came back out into the engineering scene, which was pretty cool. And I'm guessing that's kind of what they did here.
Yeah.
Which made it more impressive is that almost the entire wall of that elevator is glass and see-through, which just
Right.
makes it so much like in your face. We can do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot more of that.
Yeah, I really hope they do, because I know they did like the making of Mandalorian and stuff, and I'm fairly confident they're gonna do it with this as well, because they've done it with all their Marvel stuff. So I don't see why they won't do it with this. But I specifically want to see that scene, because that was just really, really interesting. And like I said, I don't think it cut at all until it was done. So I just want to see how they did that one, because that was so cool to me.
Yeah.
I thought it was just
the
great.
scene. The entire scene is 2 minutes and 17 seconds.
Yeah.
Altogether. So that is a really long one-shot scene because comes out of the elevator, goes around the table where he's talking to the about the bounty and stuff.
Yeah.
Goes around, follows him back in the elevator into another spot, but then he gets hurt and he goes on the ground, but then it cuts. But it's still, that is a long scene, and it was very unexpected though, because I don't know, I kind of throughout it I was like, wait, they're not cutting.
Yeah,
So
it was really cool.
I was very into it at that point.
Yeah, and then speaking of like with the Unreal Engine and stuff, I'm pretty sure that huge ring that they're on, I'm pretty sure that was all done the same way.
The non-Halo ring, you mean?
I was gonna say Halo 3.
Okay, but the thing is, there's actually a novel called Ringworld from I think the 50s.
Yep.
And I think that was a huge inspiration for that. Obviously, they used that in with Halo, and then in this they used Halo and that, and then also there is a world ring type thing like that in Star Wars.
Yeah, I think
Legends.
this is more of a satellite.
Yes.
If you look at the perspective shot, how you can see, you can clearly see buildings.
Yeah.
Going all the way. So it's more like, to me, it almost feels a little more like the spaceport in Treasure Planet.
Yeah, I thought that too. Yeah, I was like,
you have that perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really liked its design. I thought it was really cool, and to be in space again, I was really happy about, because this entire time we've been on Tatooine, and
you love that. You love just being on that desert planet, man.
Yep. To be like,
I love how quick it changed from like a light scene to a dark scene. I don't know, was it like how fast night and day goes there, or
That's what I
because
think.
I don't know.
It's a satellite. It's not actually like
it's just out
It's not
in space.
orbiting
that's
like
what I
a
was thinking.
planet.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like somewhere out in space and stuff being
Yeah.
lit by a nearby sun or something like that.
Mhm.
Or maybe a couple suns. I don't know. But yeah, I just thought that whole design was really cool, and it was such a not a relief, a breath of fresh air to be off of
I don't see how you could
Tatooine for a
survive
little
in
bit.
like Arizona or something, man. Like it's just flat and desert.
Oh, it's just
If
it's
it's
the
not built
worst.
up, it's just flat and desert.
It's
Texas
the
flat and
worst.
desert.
Yeah, it's just the worst.
You're just spoiled from living in Maine, man.
I know, right? Oh man. So, oh, what was I gonna say? I was gonna mention something. Oh yeah, I don't know how many people are watching this right now, but if you guys want to drop something in the live chat, any questions or something, we can get to that at the end of this live stream. So if you guys want to comment anything, that would be awesome, and we can interact with you guys a bit. All right, so moving on. So from that point, he gets the information that he wants, and then he goes and he finds his fellow Mandalorians. And I did not expect there to only be 2 left, because like the entire covert, is that what they call it? The
I think it's
covert.
culvert.
Covert. I think it's covert.
I didn't write it down.
Yeah, I think it's covert.
Oh, Culver.
But there's only 2 of them left. It's the
Yeah.
armorer and it's Paz Vizsla. Or
Mhm.
Paz
Something
Vizsla?
said that there were 5 left, but I just don't think. I think that 3 weren't with them, because I think that he remembers. I remember him saying there are only 5 of us left. I
Yeah,
think.
I must have missed that line, because I was just like, that's it? That's all that's left
Yeah,
from.
I know there's there's significantly fewer than we're
Yeah.
most of them died during the raid.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
it, I wanted to get into the lore of like, because like Mando starts talking about Bo-Katan, and then because he's questioning his entire upbringing.
Well,
'Cause
he
when
he
met-
subtly brings it up.
Yeah.
I want to. Did you hear like the way that the armorer spoke? I don't think she knows Bo-Katan is still alive.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because she says she's a cautionary tale, and she brought this. She speaks a lot of it in past tense.
Yes.
And then she says, like, we are the last of the Mandalorians.
But I don't think, what I think it is she doesn't view Bo-Katan's clan as Mandalorian, because she knows their beliefs and stuff, and she blames Bo-Katan for the fall of Mandalore.
Which is not entirely wrong.
No, it's not.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah, so it's obviously we haven't gotten into, we haven't seen all of what happened for that, but I do believe that Bo-Katan was clearly at fault in all of that, and wasn't necessarily the leader that Mandalore needed. Which then obviously is setting up tons of stuff for the future in possibly Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah.
But I was actually just watching Clone Wars today. I was watching the first Mandalorian arc in season 2, when Pre Vizsla comes in and all that stuff. And I was trying to figure out like all the different, like, so much lore and so much like religiousness to the Mandalorian creed is just it's so intriguing to me, because there's 2 different versions of the belief, because there's the Death Watch belief, and then there was like in Clone Wars, there's the Death Watch belief, and then there's the pacifist belief that Satine is trying to create for all of Mandalore because of their history as warriors and stuff. And Pre Vizsla is just like, we need to hold on to our warrior ways, and
I would say that's almost like to me, you almost have like 3 schools of thought, because I don't know, he kind of had like, unless it's because like you have someone versus the armor who's very deep in the ancestral traditions.
Yeah.
And they had Pre Vizsla who kind of use it just as an excuse to grab power.
I don't know. I feel like he was genuine, but the thing is, power was their religion. Like
Mm.
that might of Mandalore was their religion and stuff. And Death Watch kind of, it fell apart after Maul. Like that was another split. In
Yeah.
Death Watch was the you know what did they call it, the Maldalorians, and then
Right.
there was the Death Watch. And actually, Mando's group, his covert, is called Children of the Watch. So his group that he's with is direct descendants of Death Watch. They are the remnants of Death Watch. So
Yeah.
you can see where when the Empire took over, and then the Night of 1,000 Tears happened, which
Oh my gosh.
we finally got to see a bit of that in this episode. But when that event happened and they were on Concord Dawn, I think that's the moon's name.
Mhm.
When they were on there, they were Death Watch, I believe, at that time. And as time has gone on, they evacuated. They became bounty hunters because that's all
Well,
they know.
we had a little bit of that lore from the guard. See, I think the true Mandalorians is like the ones that you meet in Rebels.
Yes, and
You have the guy,
that's Bo-Katan's. That's more Bo-Katan's side,
right? Well,
where
it's
they were because like after the Clone Wars, I think, or during, like that's when that shift happened, where a lot of Mandalore realized we need to go back to protecting ourselves, and the pacifist way is not working out. And then that's when the Empire stepped in. So that's when all the houses and the clans were just like, okay, no, we are getting back to our roots because we can't survive in this kind of
yeah. I think
universe.
she's more part of that school of thought because
Yeah,
she does.
yeah. Because there
You have
was, go ahead.
Bo-Katan kind of brought, you see a lot more of the I have to have won this from him. I
Yeah.
can't do it the way I did before because that did not go well.
Yes.
And you have the same kind of attitude that you saw with the is it the Guardians? I don't think, or it's the Keepers who again almost get entirely wiped out when the freaking Empire finds out they're still on Concord Dawn.
Yeah.
The glassed and partly broken planet.
Yeah.
But I thought it was, you see that as like there, and that's when we first hear about the Darksaber. That's where we get a lot of honor and family. And when Sabine shows up,
Mm-hmm.
who is of Clan Vizsla,
Yeah.
she's actually, they actually are aggressive, take aggression to her, they do not take wealth to her
Yeah.
being there because she's part of Death Watch. So I'm like, wait a
Yes.
second. Now we have the pacifist Mandalore that fell to the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have this other, the Guardians that went back to Concord Dawn,
Yeah.
which is, and then you have the displaced Mandalorians of, that,
The Children of the
that
Watch.
that came after, yeah, right, the Children of the Watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So
which,
you're
basically
right.
zealots.
Yes, and that's why they have the whole rule of no taking your helmet off, and that's why their numbers are dwindling like crazy. Is because
Yeah.
they are zealots. They are religious zealots for their,
Yeah.
for their beliefs and stuff. Where, like you said, we are dealing with the multiple parties here. You got the Children of the Watch, which are basically Death Watch, but I think more extreme because Death Watch removed their helmets and stuff. And I think as things got more and
Right.
more desperate, they got more and more enclosed and more.
They regressed more and more into blindly following tradition.
Yeah. And then we got the Death Watch, Children of the Watch, and then we had the pacifists in Clone Wars, and they
Kind of new Mandalore,
the new Mandalore, and
which
they fell very quickly.
Yeah.
And then we have there was a split in Death Watch, which resulted in their numbers dwindling with Darth Maul and that whole saga. But then there's also the other houses that were outside of Queen Satine's rule, I guess, where they were, I guess I would assume because they weren't really a part of the Clone Wars at all in that era. But there's the different houses and stuff where they're like, within the whole Rebels arcs there. So I think we're dealing with, and then that's more where Bo-Katan is right now. Is she's in that in between where she agreed with some of the things her sister was saying because she came to see her points of view in some spots, but she's just like, I'm not gonna sacrifice, our history of Mandalore.
Our life, really.
Yeah. Yeah. But she also is just like, Death Watch is crazy. So, so it's very interesting to see all of these different pieces that they've built up in the last 12 years. Has it been 12 years or when did season 2 come out when they started all of that? I don't even know. I think it was like 2009 or something like that.
It's been a gap.
So it's been like 13 years that they've been building this idea. And I feel like it could come to a potential end now that the Empire is gone. So there is not a humongous threat that the Mandalorians have to fight because they could not unify before, and that's why they fell. But the thing is, under a potential, King Arthur character, which is what the Darksaber I feel like represents, like an Excalibur, where it's like even now, like you can't.
That's a good point.
Like it's hard to wield. It's hard to wield unless you submit to it or something it takes a special person to wield that, and all of Mandalorians, for the most part, respect whoever wields that blade, and you have to fight for it. And we saw as Paz Vizsla couldn't even take it from him.
Yes, and especially like throughout the fight when it comes to the scene where he's like, "Now I'm gonna finish you," when he gets it stuck in that pole,
you see him
he
struggling
refuses
the
to
entire
let
time.
go. He refuses to let go to actually. He's fighting the saber as much as he can because and he's not letting go to defend himself or anything.
Yeah,
he goes.
He probably would have had an easier time fighting Din if the lightsaber was just out of the question, because he could have just used his body weight and just beat on him, because Din was down on the ground at that time, but because of the Darksaber, he got it stuck. He could have shut it off, dropped it, and then just started punching him or something, but he didn't want to let go of that because he's like, no, I want it.
And he's pulling it out, and he's just taking punches, and he's letting whatever happens to him happen.
Yeah, even when he's picking it up, you can see he's struggling with it.
I think that was the big thing you saw, that he also didn't understand what it was.
Yeah.
Like you heard a little bit of him. You had the armorer mention it before that that Bo-Katan thought she could wield this by blood, and then you have, Big Blue, as I like to call him.
Yeah. I like to call him.
He picks it up as like, this was my family's, and he's like, like.
Yeah,
well, dude, did you not hear what your master just said?
Yeah, right.
Like, it doesn't answer to, it's not about heritage.
Yeah.
It's about a true warrior. And my thing is like, the armorer didn't say that Din Djarin shouldn't wield this. He's like, you need to focus.
Yeah.
You're distracted, because in the opening scene, he has no problem swinging that thing.
Oh, well, that's why he cut himself. He cut himself.
Yeah,
that's the reason, because it got heavy.
I don't think so.
He's swinging it around, but he's also fighting people that aren't really, like, they're not trained to fight that sort of weapon. He's literally cutting through them all. But when he's fighting the armor, and she's got those, I assume they're Beskar, like, hammers and stuff, they're blocking.
But my thing is, he's thinking about Grogu. Then in the fight, he has a singular vision.
I don't think he's thinking about Grogu, because he's just trying to kill this guy to get information so he can get.
No. That's what I mean. He has a singular vision in the opening scene. He's like, I need to survive. I need to take these guys out. In training, he's thinking, he's thinking several things. I've secretly betrayed these people.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to get back to my adopted son, but I also want to show that I'm still a true Mandalorian, even though I betrayed what they say. Okay. So you have this conflict inside him, and that's why he can't wield the sword well.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I
think he burned himself because he doesn't know how to use it. I think it's just you don't know the kind of weapon you hold.
It is the beginning of him. I don't know if he's used this before, but I mean, as well, since like that we did not see, but he's in that scene. it's just now starting to get a little weight, you know. So this scene that we're talking about when he's fighting the other Mandalorian, it's a lot heavier than it was before because I guess it slowly builds up as he's
Well, he says
using
it gets heavier with every swing.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's just fatiguing though, because the
Yeah,
more
I
he
wonder-
fights
building up
against
in the
it,
first scene though.
Yeah, I wonder what that really means. Like, are they trying to, like, are the creators trying to communicate something that we missed? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Or
is the blade
like,
force sensitive somehow, so it's connecting to your psyche? Like, is that like, is it
Well,
literally like Thor's hammer? It's like, no, you have to be worthy to wield this thing. Or is it literally just like any other lightsaber where it's like anyone can kind of pick it up? George Lucas said to the cast in A New Hope, you know, these lights, they're heavy. They have weight to it. So we use it like you'd be actually using a, you know, a real steel sword because they're supposed to have weight to them. But obviously we've seen other like non-Jedis use lightsaber all the time.
Right. Well,
but this
my
one,
guess,
yeah.
my guess is like we know that it was a Jedi and a a Jedi Mandalorian that
Yep.
created it, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not sure what kind of kyber crystal it has in there.
Yeah.
But
they revealed in this episode that the hilt is made out of Beskar, a different kind of Beskar, a higher quality or something like that.
Right. So yeah, I don't know, but it could be that like the way the kyber crystal reacts to the force has to react in a certain way to how the wielders react is like with the force, you know what I mean?
Yeah, almost like how Thor's hammer you know, reacts to the wielder and stuff. But I'm not sure because we saw Moff Gideon didn't seem to have any issue swinging that thing around. So I don't know because this is a relatively new thing. They've never really said anything like this before in like about the Darksaber. So I don't know. I have a few thoughts about what might happen in future episodes of either this series or season 3 of Mandalorian, but we will get to that in, you know, a little bit later when we talk about future like our speculation for the future. So I wanted to mention before we move on, if you guys didn't have anything else to say, Paz Vizsla, that guy who voices him, I am dead convinced that is Jon Favreau. I'm pretty certain that is Jon Favreau voicing Paz Vizsla. He's the big Mandalorian guy.
Right.
Yeah, he sounds just like Jon Favreau.
It is. I think we found that out. I think I found that out. Yeah.
I don't think it's not in the credits or anything because they haven't credited him. I think it has something to do with like, you know, union stuff or things like that where they can't actually credit him as that.
Did he voice him in The Mandalorian?
I would assume so. I think they.
I think
he didn't credit. But he wasn't credited then. But he sounds just like Jon Favreau. He also, you know, he voiced this guy's ancestor, Pre-Vizsla, and now he's Paz Vizsla. I would assume it's Jon Favreau. And I mean, with that build, they could even eventually like have his helmet come off, and it could just be Jon Favreau under there at a later
on
date.
stilts.
Yes. Well, I mean, they can just like do a headshot of him, maybe Photoshop his head onto that guy because John's not that tall. But I'm pretty certain that is definitely Jon Favreau.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think it would be. I want to know for sure, but I don't know. I know he's uncredited, so I don't know. All right. So what happened after this is he like when he and Paz Vizsla, you know, were fighting, and he beat Paz Vizsla, and, you know, reclaimed his honor.
Out their helmets, if they've ever removed their helmets.
Yes, I had some weird thoughts about that. I was like, that seems a little odd to just say. Just ask.
It kind of came out of nowhere. Like, okay, have you ever done this?
Yeah, it's like
what?
Okay, that's.
And if he really wanted, he could have lied. But he is.
No, you do see it when they fight in the first season, though. In the first season of Mando, when I think it actually might be those two again who went at it, and they're both holding the knives at each other, ready to, you know, they both got their vibro blades up,
and
they're like, you know, she, you know, maybe it's something to do with like a sign of combat or defeat, is like how
almost like saying amen at the end of a prayer. At the end of a
maybe,
fight,
I
you
don't
have
know.
to make sure you're sticking to the creed and not removing your helmet.
After a fight, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's the only other time I've seen.
So they
The only
did
other
that
time
in
they came
season
up.
1.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
thought. That was a bit of a callback because
Okay. Yeah, because
it's a
confused.
standoff between them two, but now Mando is the one holding
Yeah.
the knife, who
Okay.
actually won and was like, okay, now you're dead. And he's like, hold, we can't be shedding blood anymore like this. We don't
Yeah.
have that many of us left.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I was confused by that. I was like, that just seems out of place to just ask that. So I was like thinking, does she somehow know that he removed his helmet at some point? Or is it like, why is she just like all of a sudden asking this? But that makes sense. If she did it in season 1 of Mando, then it would make sense for her to, say it again. And there's already that precedent of asking that at the end of a fight. That's cool.
She comments like after like, you are no longer a Mandalorian and stuff, and then also says that he can be redeemed in the living waters beneath Mandalore.
Yes,
so,
but those in the mines
which
underneath Mandalore
was
but
destroyed.
Yeah,
that
they
we
were
know.
destroyed. They're not destroyed. He's going back there.
Come on.
He's...
I heard a theory. And this was just one of those harebrained things that people want to see. I heard a theory that because now that Mandalore's laid dormant for so long, that when he goes, if he does go back, that he might find a mythosaur buried beneath.
And she said
so we have precedence
in the legend,
for this.
In the legend that she was reciting, she said the mythosaur will rise again.
Right.
And the ruler or whatever is going to ride the mythosaur, and we have precedent in with that because of the freaking holiday special where Boba Fett is riding a mythosaur, and I think that they're gonna show that in the next couple episodes, probably the final episode of Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett riding his Rancor.
Yeah.
And, just decimating everything around him, riding his Rancor. Then Mando's going to look over and be like, ooh, I should get me one of those. And then he's going to find the mythosaur in Mando Season 3 or something like that. And he's going to ride the mythosaur to victory.
What it would echo. What it would echo is that episode from the Clone Wars when they're actually on the planet of where the kind of alien horse, whatever, what is
It's not ringing any bells for me. I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Oh man, they're like little. They kind of have like a body like a hairless orangutan. They're gray. They got a horse snout.
The wombats?
No.
Oh.
Maybe. But anyway, it's they're testing out this new weapon against a droid army. It's that giant EMP that knocks out every electrical device, and the clones are like, okay, whatever, we'll just go around and shoot all the droids.
Yes.
But what it does is it creates that giant sinkhole.
Yeah.
And then that beast of legend comes up after they bomb the planet.
The Zillo beast, right?
The Zillo beast. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Massive. Yes, I remember that.
With the indestructible armor and all. I was like, we thought we killed these things. They're only of legend. I'm like, they've done this before.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And also, that thing was force sensitive.
Yes, it was. So,
it'll be interesting because the mythosaurs are intelligent.
Yes.
That at least in Legends, they are actually intelligent beasts that were enslaved.
Yes.
Yeah. Like Mandalorian history is kind of black. There's some checkered past to their history.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're very brutal and warriors, and just there's a lot of things in there that weren't necessarily morally good, but yes.
Yeah. It's a gray area.
Yeah.
Back to what do you guys really think that Mando made for Grogu?
Oh, what do we think? I'm not sure. It looks like some sort of chainmail.
I know it has some chains, so I was thinking, like armor or something like that.
But the thing is, it looks too small.
Also, in the wrap is the same. Yes, it does. It
So I'm
does.
confused.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's probably about like
Maybe it's a
fists
necklace
or something. So
it's a Beskar chain
yeah,
necklace.
that's what I was
So you
thinking. But
can,
I'm
you
like,
know, you can go around the
I
town.
think it was. I don't know
Beskar
why
net.
they made. I think they made the small
Get
bag.
some bling.
It-
He's got to look
Right.
pretty while he's fighting.
Yeah.
I think they made the bag for nothing else other than it's like, oh, it's a little Yoda. I'm like,
Yeah,
we
it's
saw
a
them
shape
making
of
chain.
yeah.
We saw them making chainmail links. That's what those were.
Yeah.
I think that he is going to give him like a chain, a little itty bitty chain shirt.
But the thing
I wouldn't
is,
be.
I don't.
And the bag's just
I
too
don't-
small. I think that's just an
yeah.
over. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, oh crap, that was kind of. He's got two bags.
Mm. Maybe
He's got two
maybe it's a
bags.
wallet keychain.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what I thought that was. I was like, it looks like it could be chainmail, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it looks too small to fit an entire chainmail for Grogu in there.
It was
I just don't
definitely
know.
chains. It was definitely chains, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We just didn't see enough of it. But I don't know. It was just building, and then it almost cut immediately to the next scene, and we didn't see enough
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna they're teasing that.
Mhm.
So I don't. Do you guys have anything you wanted to say before we get into we get back to Tatooine?
I know that the ride, the ride in the commercial ship. I think that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
On the way to Tatooine and stuff. When he pulls out the Grogu bag and stuff,
Yeah.
it actually starts playing the same music that it played when the Mandalorian found out Grogu's real name.
Oh,
And that is actually the same song that they played, which I found out. So
interesting.
Cool.
just a small thing that I thought was pretty
I wonder if that's like I haven't looked at the soundtrack, so I don't know what anything's titled, but I wonder if that's like titled Grogu or something like that, or has something to do like specifically to his name instead of it just being like the child. So
Uh,
I don't know. And that's
Yeah,
interesting.
That's usually how they do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about that the commercial ship there, I thought it was pretty funny when they're like, "Oh no, you need to leave all your weapons here."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm a
And he's
Mandalorian. Weapons are my religion." And he's just like
Yeah.
constantly taking stuff out.
Yeah, which actually remind me of The Hobbit, Feely, when they're like putting him into the
Yes.
prisons,
Yes.
and he
Yes.
keeps taking out things, and they keep finding things on him.
my
and-
thing is like the freaking scene from Sinbad and the Seven Seas.
I have not seen it.
You haven't seen
I
that
have
one?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's an old DreamWorks. It's one of the best DreamWorks movies out there. But this guy's literally like, he's got this like armload of stuff, and he's just pulling it out of the table. Like they're entering the party, and it's like, you gotta unload your weapons before you enter the party. Guys pull out knives, they pull out a couple swords, and it's got the engineer of the group is like, okay, grappling hook, knife 1, knife 2, knife 3, knife 4, the shotgun thing that shouldn't exist, the all this other like actually a pile of stuff, and then like the other characters go have a conversation. They come back, and the guy's like, just like, there we go. Everything's on the table. I'm like, okay, man, pack it up. We're leaving. I'm like, I got it. Oh, he just takes an armload and just walks off.
Oh my word. It was a little Pink Panther-esque, I thought, as well.
A little pink pit, yeah. Yeah.
I have this pair of nubjacks. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. I thought that was funny when he was boarding on onto that commercial freighter or whatever you want to call it. But getting back to Tatooine, so we got to see Pelimoto again, in all her droids. I don't know how you guys feel about her character. I think she's
I like
alright.
it.
I have mixed feelings
I
towards
like
her.
her.
Like she's
I
like
like
the
her.
only character that brings a lot of energy into the
she
character.
brings
That's
a
like
ton of
no one
energy.
else
Everyone is-
brings enough energy. Yes.
Everyone's like you, man. She is the only person on Tatooine not depressed about living on Tatooine. She's
That's
just like,
probably why
I'm
I
a
don't
homely
like
girl.
her.
I was
That's
born here.
common.
I've never
Yes,
been off
she's like,
planet.
I've never been here. I'm a what does she say?
I'm a local gal.
I don't know if she said I'm
I'm
like
a local
desert
gal, yeah.
or
Local
something
gal,
like that.
local
I've never
gal.
even been
Local
off
gal,
world.
yeah, and she's
Yeah. I don't know. Just something about her doesn't quite fit into Star Wars. But
yeah.
I mean,
I
like
don't think
her
she's
as
supposed to be all there.
yeah.
I feel like
she
she'd
dated
be great as like
she dated a Jawa.
Yeah, right.
yes.
She
Why-
dated a
she
Jawa.
brought it up like
very
4
furry.
times.
Very furry. Like
Very
there's so many
furry.
implications here. I do not want to go down.
Well, you could see at the in that scene in the
It's
where
so
they're
messed
robes.
up. Because they're
Where
giant.
they're-
They're
where
supposed to be
the
giant
robes-
rats.
Yeah.
They're
well,
supposed to be giant rats. They are not like
they're
attractive
furry.
creatures.
They're very
well,
furry, so
They're very furry.
They're furry. Yeah, like you could see where their
That
where
lip
their
smacking
robes-
man was weird.
Yeah, when their robes ended, you could see just tons of fur just sticking out of
Yeah.
their robes and stuff. So I mean, I guess she's not wrong. She's not lying at least. But I don't know. That was weird. That one of the Jawas actually, when she said that she dated a Jawa once, one of the Jawas says something to her. Where is I've got it written down right here.
Yeah,
ask. It's
no,
like,
I'm
are
taking
you
care of
single?
myself
She goes,
right
no,
now.
I'm
I'm good.
focusing on myself.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Like
Right.
I'm working on myself right now.
I'm like, that Jawa just asked
And then
her
she
out.
goes very furry again after. And
Yeah, she mentions that like
Ugh.
4 or 5 times. I'm
yes,
like, okay,
she
okay,
keeps
girl.
talking about it.
We know. Oh man, but then
Something that I don't know if. Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go.
We can talk about it later. No, go.
Okay, so
I
I got
insist.
so that little droid you see at the beginning when that little creature's attacking it or
Yep.
whatever. That is a BD droid. That was in Star Wars Fallen Order, or Jedi Fallen Order. So I was like, oh, look at that! I'd like to see that again. That's cool. It's not. I don't think it's the same
I love
one.
that. Have you
Yeah.
guys played?
I have not, but I've seen a lot from it.
Not fully. I got it started, and then I got on what came out at the same time. Or I didn't have it was during school, so I didn't have a lot of time. Just kind of fell off.
Yeah, I've been waiting for a good deal on it. So there
Mhm.
actually was a good deal a little while back, but I didn't buy it. So I guess I'm
Well, they
lying.
say the next what is it? Fallen Order 2's coming out
I heard,
possibly 2023.
I heard that there were a few games announced recently.
There's 7.
7? Holy
There's 7.
Holy cow. That's crazy.
7 what?
Star Wars
Games?
games.
7 Star Wars games. I think they have 3 coming out this year and
Holy
4
cow.
sometimes next year.
That's insane.
They've
Holy-
got this. Yeah,
That's-
thait got like 2.
Well, they got a Lego
They
Star
have-
Wars game coming out. I know that.
That's one. And then they have the second. What was the game we were just talking about? I just
Fallen
blanked.
Order.
Fallen Order.
Okay. I know
And then they
there is
have.
I think there's an
They've got
open
their
world
own
one
battle
coming out.
royale coming out.
Oh, really?
They've got an Old Republic,
Oh.
and then 2 more I can't, and then a couple more I can't remember. There's
There are probably a couple mobile games in there.
no. They're all well, the ones I saw were all console.
Okay, cool. Okay,
But I
yeah,
know there
I'm
was-
excited for that then. I'll play some of those.
There was another first-person shooter, and then a couple more in-universe games. One was like one like a battle royale or an open it was an open sandbox game,
Yes,
which they say they've
yes.
never done before.
Yes, who was doing it? I heard who was doing it, but I can't.
Not
remember.
EA, thank
Yes,
goodness.
thank you. Yes, I was happy to hear that. I can't remember which studio.
I don't
they
think
got.
any of them are doing any. I
No,
don't think they're
I'm
doing
pretty
EA
sure-
anymore because they.
Yeah, I think
ruined Battlefront.
that contract I think ran out or whatever, and they did not renew it. Or I know something happened, but I can't remember the name of the studio that is actually.
Well, they didn't do
making-
Squadrons.
No, they didn't. I
Wow.
heard that's very good.
It is very good.
Yeah. So
I got to get back into that.
yeah, I gotta get it at some point. But
It's freaking awesome.
okay, speaking of did you say Starfighter? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So getting back into the episode here.
Yeah,
From that
yeah,
little
yeah.
tangent. The N1 Starfighter has returned, and I am happy and not happy at the same time.
Well, did you have the same thing I did
What?
when it was covered up? I thought it was one of Grievous's fighters.
Me too. That's what I thought. I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
yes!" I looked over to my wife and I was just like, oh, "It's Grievous's Starfighter!" And then she pulls it off, and I'm like, "N1? What?"
You know, I think they didn't want to give him one of Grievous's starfighters because Cad Bane already has that.
Yep.
Well, I don't care. I want to see one.
I don't know. The one
I don't. Go ahead.
I think the N1 is an ugly ship, personally.
Yeah,
What?
I'm not. I have mixed feelings towards it, but I mean, hey. I have mixed feelings towards the N1. It is not my favorite ship. I think it's a classic ship, but it is not one that I would pick. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like it needs
company, apparently.
I feel like it needs more color right now. I think his specific model, it's all silver. This guy needs to get off the silver thing. Everything he's got is silver. The Razor Crest was completely silver.
I think
His
they were
armor's
trying to bring
completely silver.
as much.
Come on, just put some color on it.
We're trying to bring as much Mandalorian back. So they were like, you know what? Let's bring back as much silver as we
Everything's
can. Because we know
silver.
Mandalorian.
Oh, raw
so
metal.
Much.
It's freaking just
Yes,
all raw metal.
I know.
Yes.
But they need to paint that thing. But I mean, I was happy to see it. I was just like, this is cool. And then,
I really like the dragster look it had. Like, because it felt, it's the classic.
The big giant
it's a classic
engine on
car.
the front, and just
it's got the oversized engine. It's
Yep.
got its panels removed, so you can see all the internal mechanics. I'm like, personally, the N1 is my second favorite starfighter, past the Arc 170, right behind the Arc 170.
Okay.
Like, having both played it in game and the capabilities that freaking thing has, like you see it, that thing is just a speedster,
and his is tricked out
and they tricked. Well, the thing was, it's like in lore, that ship is one of the fastest starfighters.
Yeah.
And now he basically has nitro inside one of the fastest starfighters.
Yep.
He's like,
fun fact, inside in the making, I don't know if you remember when the Jawas brought in combustion booster.
Yes.
Yep.
Or I don't know the full name.
But
that was the same prop from the Solo, that Solo used. It's the same prop that Solo used as a brace.
The trash compactor.
In the garbage compactor.
So now we know what that's called.
Now we know what it is.
Yes.
Yep. I thought that was hilarious when I saw that. I was like, "Hey, that looks familiar." Yep. I heard some people like asking, they're like, "Is this Anakin's N1? Is it?" I don't think it is. I think it's just.
I don't think it's that much of like, oh my goodness. It's just.
Yeah.
I mean, there weren't a lot of them made, so it is quite possible. Like, relatively speaking, the N1 was a low-produced ship.
Well, it was specifically meant for Naboo.
It was just for the Royal Guard.
Yeah, the Royal Guard of Naboo. So there are only a few. That's why they didn't spare any expense on them. That's why they are so good.
They're so freaking fast. Too.
I thought, a lot of people
like,
are like,
they're fast.
It's Anakin's. It's not Anakin's. I don't think it is. I heard. I
don't want it to be Anakin's. They freaking chop the thing.
No. Yeah, but
I like. I love the look of it. I really do.
Yeah.
You look at some of it, and like he's got. I don't know if it's extra weapons on the turbines or it's just extra stuff on the turbines, but just because the turbines were very, very sleek, very simple, cylindrical, and then they're very. They look like Grievous's turbines. They're kind of like a stretched out egg almost.
Yeah. Yeah. So
aesthetically, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I like the fact that it had that it's not a oh man, I can't remember the carburetor. It freaking looks like a carburetor on top of freaking. And it's just sitting there like, and it's idle. It's like running rough and idle. And like the whole thing just says, "I am supposed to go fast."
Yeah, yeah, and it's just like when they start it up and you're just hearing the roar of that engine.
Yep.
I was just like, oh, this thing's gonna be fun to use.
He just opens it up over Tatooine and just takes off.
Yeah. When that happened and he starts going towards was it Beggar's Canyon? Is that what they called it? Yeah, I literally was like, now this is pod racing. He literally goes down the exact same route. I was so happy
they had the rat that they had in the movie, and then he actually passes the gate that is still broken.
Yep.
30 years later,
yeah,
it's still broken.
Yes.
Yeah, but like he followed that same path, and I was just
Yep.
like, oh, this is awesome. So I was so happy to see that.
I want to see what's gonna happen because they've had the same. I don't know if he's a lieutenant. I don't know. I can't remember what his rank is. But the older gentleman that pursued him when he crashed on the ice planet. That's the same guy who is he's following him almost because he's ended up like in 3 different places in 3 different parts of the galaxy where Mando has been. He's like, we got some question for you, and he kind of sits there and like looks at him like he's seen him. They both seen each other. Like they were on the planet looking at each other. They know who each other are. They kind of look at him, and like as Mando's looking over his shoulder, he pops the trigger guard and hits the boost and just peels off.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, you're the one.
Yeah. And he's like, well, do you want to go back to base and fill out forms all day?
No, I do not, sir.
So that other pilot,
yes.
that other pilot was actually Luke Skywalker's body double in
really?
In the finale of Mando season 2. Yeah, he was the body double for Luke Skywalker. So a lot of speculation is like, hey, if they got him back, does that mean they're trying to set something up? They're trying to hint at something that they're potentially doing in the next episode? I've heard some people say that.
I honestly don't think we're gonna see Mando meeting.
I think we're gonna
Grogu.
I
don't think we're gonna see it in the show.
We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
I have a whole bunch of things to say about speculation. But let's see. Where else? Oh yeah, he says it when he lands the ship. She asks him how it was, and he goes, "Wizard." I was
Wizard.
I was laughing so hard.
Wizard.
I was like, "Kit Star, this is Wizard, Annie." Yeah, I was so I was so happy to see that or hear it. Yeah, it was funny. It was pretty cool. Yeah. So, does anybody else have anything to say about that? Because that's basically close to the end of the episode. All we get after that is Fennec Shan coming in and saying that,
right?
Hey, we want your help. And he's like, well, is it for Boba? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, well, then it's on the house. And then
I like that. I thought, because Boba was talking about loyalty and it was like, I don't even want your money. I'm gonna come because you help me. I help you.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
I liked that exchange a lot.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very. It's
a respect for another Mandalorian and stuff. So it was really.
Well, you
cool.
have that. You have the bound. I mean, he's fought side by side with him. He's worked right next to this guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. But he's like, I'll help you, but I gotta go.
I got this one thing I gotta do first.
Yeah, I gotta go see my little friend or whatever he says.
Yeah.
And then the episode ends there. What are you guys' thoughts for what is going to happen next? I have heard a lot of people talking about, like as soon as they saw that, they're like, oh, we're going to see Grogu in the next episode and Luke and all that. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I've got a few
I don't
things.
know. I feel like he will be in the episode, but they have two different things is that I know that Trey, you and I talked about this a little bit, but that Grogu, will he really welcome? Has he developed? But also, it hasn't been that long. So, but has he developed enough to, I don't know, not want to go with him? But also, on the N1 Starfighter, that droid port is like people are forced to believe that the N1 Starfighter, the droid port is for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's two ways. Will he really go with Mando though?
I don't think that droid port is for him. I think they just close it up.
I think it's for bounties.
I don't think they can fit in there. That's another problem that I have.
You could squish.
Yeah, try putting a big guy in there. That's not gonna happen unless you cut off their arms and legs, then they'll fit. He's done.
Man.
He's done worse in this episode.
Or you freeze him in carbonite and strap him to the hull.
Yep, he's done that before too. I mean, I don't know. But the thing, with the droid port thing, I think she closed that up because she was saying, how he feels about droids.
I honestly wanted him to get DB, because you see a connection there in the shop, and I'm like, oh, is he
No.
gonna get a droid? Is he
No.
gonna be the droid to help in the N1? No.
No, he
And
doesn't.
also,
He
how
doesn't like droids.
amazing. Also, just imagine how amazing it'd be if, I know this is way out there, but if Grogu went with Mando to fight the Pikes,
No.
and if it was like, well, yes, say whatever you want, but it's like, it's a wild theory. It's wild, but
Yeah.
That is wild. That is wild. If
Yes,
you went
it is.
with him, I don't.
Theory.
You what? What, Will?
He said, you guys said it was wild, but it's also a theory.
Yeah.
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 I mean, he's gonna see him, so who knows?
Yeah.
out there.
I
It's
don't
like,
think
what
he's
would be
gonna
the
go with
point?
him.
What is really the point of showing a scene of him going, and then him leaving without him, and kind of just a random?
Oh well, I've got
visit.
theories on that as well. So
Mhm.
I will
Okay.
say before we get into theory, I will say there will be something, because I think they hanged a lantern on it for some reason.
I think that they're doing that just to make people smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, he has the gift to give him.
Yeah,
So
but I don't know if we're gonna see any of that. My thought is this episode was to set up stuff for future Mandalorian stuff. And then the next episode, we're going to go back and see what Boba Fett's been doing during
think
this
this
episode.
episode won't have
And then
anything to him doing.
I
for
don't
sure,
think
him
so.
going to see. Okay.
I don't think Mando's even going to be in the next episode except for the end. Because during this next episode, they're going to be setting up stuff that's happening with Boba Fett. And then at the end is when Mando is going to come back, so that way they can put him in the finale of the series and set up this whole big thing. Because you're going to be like, oh, I can't wait for Mando to come back. And then they're going to tease that at the end of the sixth episode. That's what I think. But I also think if we do get to see more of Mando in the next episode, it's going to feel a little bit more like actual Star Wars movies where they're following separate characters that are split apart, going all over the place. So you get the stuff going on with Boba Fett, and then you get the slide across the screen, and it's Mando coming and landing his ship. And then I've also heard a lot of people being like, is Luke going to help Mando and then go and see Boba Fett? And
that's a crazy theory too. I mean,
yeah, I'm glad you said two, because I was like, your theory was way crazier than that. But what if Luke is unavailable? What if he's not there, and we need somebody else, maybe like a Han Solo or a Chewbacca? They're like, oh, I can't go, but maybe my friends over here might be able to help you out there, Din Djarin. And then we get Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Well, he's got a kid now.
Who?
At this point, it does. No. Actually, no. Han wouldn't have his kid yet. No.
I don't think so.
Ben wouldn't have been born. Because it's.
I don't know.
It's too soon.
I don't know, but maybe
that's another point. I want in the universe. Aren't Din Djarin and Boba Fett, at least in universe, pretty close to the same age?
No. I
Because
think
Boba was
older. Boba's older by a bit, because it was at the end of the Clone Wars that Din Djarin was a child, and he was very young at that. And
he wasn't a toddler.
No, he wasn't a toddler.
He was like 10 years old. Well, he was 10 years old, and I think Boba was.
Boba was closer to 15 at the end.
Yeah,
of
Boba was closer.
Wars.
So
I don't know.
5 years difference.
I would assume he was younger than 10.
Yeah.
So, but I'd say they're probably close in age. I mean, how old is Pedro Pascal? He's like 40.
Yeah, he's in his
40s.
44. I think he's in his mid 40s, and I think I can't remember his name. The whole star of the show.
Yeah, the star of the show. You can't remember his name. How dare you?
I'm terrible with actors' names.
I'm drawing a blank on his name. Tim Morrison. Tim Morrison. I think he's 60. He might be just over that, but I know he's around 60. So I mean, I don't know. But I know they're close, and they're technically close in age, but also clones age differently than normal people.
Well, he was unaltered though. That's the thing.
That is true. That is true. So
no genetic enhancements, no age age manipulation.
Unless Boba Fett's supposed to be younger than Tim Morrison.
Yeah.
I think he is actually.
And in the Sarlacc pit in the desert just aged him like it did.
Well, that's what Tatooine does to people.
Right.
It's,
Well,
it's
because
coarse,
because
and
Obi-Wan.
it gets everywhere. Yeah, look at Obi-Wan.
Because Obi-Wan, like he ages like 20 years in 5.
Alec Guinness was 63 when he did that, when he filmed A New Hope.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And
I'm pretty sure at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan was like 35.
35.
So he aged 30 years in 18
A
years.
little bit, just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I would assume they're pretty close in age, but I'm not sure. They haven't.
I don't think that has anything to do with the story. It's just kind of
No.
like, wait a second,
Yeah.
they're like the same age.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you guys think we're going to be seeing next? Like, what are your thoughts on how are we going to see Grogu in the next episode? Maybe Luke, maybe some other characters.
A lot of you did get a make a good point when it's like, it could just be a part of the next Mando,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
For-
they might be setting it up a bit. Maybe, my thought is they're gonna focus on Boba like entirely in the next episode because they gotta develop that story because we're still trying to figure things out and there's only 2 episodes left.
Oh, yeah, what
And-
are they going to do with 2 episodes? Are they all going to put the fight against the Pikes in one?
I don't think we're going to see a
episode?
resolution of the Pikes. I think that's
They're
my
gonna
opinion
keep
is
going.
honestly that's going to be the cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger for what though?
Season 2.
I thought this was a limited series. I don't know if they're doing a season 2. They haven't announced one. I thought when they announced this, I thought they were saying it was a limited series, not going to be a reoccurring thing. Because John
Did they say that
Favreau-
about Mandalorian too?
No, Mandalorian. They said it was going to be continued.
I think it would be kind of weird if they did have another season, if they did the Book of Boba Fett and then back to Mandalorian and then back to what they did before that. That just seems like all over the place.
Because John Favreau took a break with Mandalorian to do this.
Yeah.
Unless they're setting up for Robert Rodriguez to take control of the show, because he is heavily involved in the creation of the show. He's directing 2 episodes of it, and I know he's been on set for every single episode, along with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. So
I mean, it would be almost, I don't know, depending on what they do in the next few episodes. To me, if they announced this kind of like. To me, that's kind of something they might keep quiet, depending on how these 2 episodes play out.
Or they're going to end it on kind of a cliffhanger, or have an end credit scene like they did in Mando season 2, and then be like, season 2 coming or whatever.
Right.
So,
because that's never happened with anything from Lucas before, or now the Marvel Lucas Disney empire.
Yeah, Disney's never done this before, but I mean,
right.
So I wonder if because I mean, Disney can go in and take down episodes and rearrange it like they did it with the jeans guy in the red T-shirt and stuff. So I'm wondering if they're waiting to see what the reactions of these this episode and then the next episode before they release the finale. If they're going to be like, all right, are we going to commit to another season? And they're like
they've got a closing
enough.
show, and they've got a cliffhanger episode.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they have something set up that way. So that way they're like,
I don't see how Favreau would go along with that though.
I can see him doing that. They always have this extra cuts of movies. They always have different types.
Oh yeah.
I think because I don't know, because they didn't announce this as a reoccurring series. They said, I was under the impression it was a limited series, but if the numbers are doing really well, Jon Favreau probably can easily think of something to continue this story with, or if they aren't going to continue, like say Book of Boba Fett season 2, are they going to introduce stuff that's going to be tied in with Ahsoka, Mandalorian season 3? Or any of the other shows that they are.
Obi-Wan would be happening concurrently too.
No, No, Obi-Wan
Is it not concurrent?
That's happening before A New Hope. This is happening after Return of the Jedi.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is in
timelines are a little
Yeah.
are a little off
Yeah,
with
you're
these
right.
releases.
Jeez,
But
yeah.
it's going to be very confusing for the people that are not in the weeds like we are here. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's another thing. What if they have, instead of an end credit scene that's setting up season 2 of Book of Boba Fett, what if they end up putting out like a trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah.
Because they could do that. I've heard some speculation that people are like, what if it's coming out May the 4th? Because I think that falls on a Wednesday or a Friday, which is normally the release days they do for these shows. I believe that it's coming out like May the 4th falls on one of those days, or maybe a Thursday or something like that. So I know Obi-Wan finished shooting. So I would assume that it's probably close to release. I know it's coming this year, so it's like we could either get a trailer for that at the end of this, like right when this is done, because you got Moon Knight.
Pretty sure that's still penciled in for later in the year, though.
They haven't announced it. They haven't said when it's coming out yet. They just said 2022. That's all they said. Because Moon Knight is starting March 30th, and then I think it's 6 episodes. So that would fall, like it would end the same week that the next show would start, the next big show, which could be either Obi-Wan or possibly Bad Batch season 2.
Yep.
So I think if this isn't going to end with a huge cliffhanger for another season of Book of Boba Fett or like a Mandalorian teaser, it's going to end with some sort of announcement for, what's coming in the future, like possibly in May.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on what I think that they might do after the Book of Boba Fett. I think the next episode, A Book of Boba Fett's going to reveal a lot more. We're going to get more of an idea of who the actual villain is, what the actual story is, and how things are going to kind of end. We're going to get a better idea on that. But for now, it was episode 1 of Mandalorian season 3 for me. So
but I think that's a good point too, is that I think this whole setup in one degree is just to set up hype, because it gives no indication on what the final, basically the finale, the precursor, the finale part 1 and 2 would be in any way.
Yeah.
So it's an entire week of just word of mouth, what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I was confused by because they said it was 7 episodes, and a lot of Disney stuff besides The Mandalorian, like most of the Marvel stuff that they have going on right now, has been 6 episodes. So I was like, I wonder if they had developed a 6-episode story, and then Disney or somebody, maybe Jon Favreau, was like, hey, how about this? How about we add in an entire episode to explain what Mando's been up to build hype for season 3 of Mandalorian, and to get some word spread on Book of Boba Fett, because people are like, oh, Mando's back in it and stuff. So because I wonder if they develop their whole story with that, because you can almost, if you take this episode out, like obviously we haven't seen the final 2 episodes, but if you take this episode out, you probably wouldn't miss much, because it ends, the final episode 4 ends with them being like, we can hire some muscle, the Mando theme plays, and then the next episode they're doing their whole thing, and then the end of the episode Mando comes in. If you
I mean, he could show up any time in the episode, it would still fit. That's a good point.
I think that this episode is so disconnected from the rest of, because it's not about Boba Fett at all. It is. It literally. It feels like it's like episode. Like it could be an episode in Mando season 3, and it's like a crossover event where it's like without seeing what's going on in Boba Fett or something. Like, or you think that this week Boba Fett's episode happens, and then you're like, oh, is that the Mando music? And then the next episode of Mando is that, and you see Fennec Shen.
He's just
like,
there
whoa.
working with him.
Yeah, and it's
They're not
setting
going
up.
to save that entire 5th episode of him for the next thing, because it goes on to him, to Fennec Shen talking to him and stuff. So there literally would be no other way of putting what Mando has been doing this entire time without putting it in the middle of the Book of Boba Fett.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, I'm saying for the context of Book of Boba Fett, you don't need to know what Mando's been up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit of a filler, a little bit of a tease.
Yes, that's exactly what I think
it was. It was very well done.
Oh yes, I'm so happy.
Very much enjoyed it.
It was great, but I don't think it's technically necessary to the story at all. Like, this is a six episode story about Boba Fett, and then we also got to see an extra little bit of what Mando's been doing.
Here's a theory. I wonder, because this would have been a reason to have the episode, and this will be very interesting to see as far as thematics on the small screen. Are they going to have starfighter fights? Because now Din Djarin has a ship back, and Boba has and now Boba has his gunship.
Yeah.
If Mando just showed up, that's a street fight.
Yeah.
If Mando had just shown up, that's a street fight.
Yeah, but
you have two mainline characters
in back-to-back episodes
that
getting
are both
ships.
Pilots have ships now.
Yeah, and then we are eventually going to get back down, like that. We could. You know what we could see? You know what
I want to see a dogfight next episode. I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, so
maybe finale.
No. Finale is going to be the Rancor. Next episode, I wonder if we're going to be seeing.
True.
Yeah. Well, they would have to, because it'd be so expensive. So they'd save it for the finale.
I know where you're going. I think I know where you're going.
This episode, there's going to be a fight. Boba Fett's going to be in trouble. There's going to be ships following him. And he's going to be maneuvering, trying to get away. And then Mando's going to swoop in.
The cavalry is going to come in.
With his N1, and he's just going to.
Yes. Out of freaking nowhere, just blitz by, and Mando's going to be like, "Who the heck was that?"
Yeah.
It's just going to be like, "What's up, dude? Let's finish these guys off."
Or guess who has arrived?
Yeah. Gosh, I hope that happens. I would have.
I really want to see the N1 just screaming in, guns ablazing.
Yes.
That'll be so freaking awesome.
Yeah, I hope that happens. That would be fun. And then obviously the finale will be Boba Fett riding his Rancor to take down possibly another Pike train or something. I don't know.
Right.
Rancor just throws the train over. I don't know. But I think that's gonna be something to what we're gonna be seeing. Is that would be great, because that would be an amazing entrance. Like, say you take out the episode with the Mando, you hear the end of the episode 4 with the Mandalorian music, and then you go into Boba Fett's dealing with some other stuff, and he's in space or whatever with his fire spray gunship. He's going around trying to shoot these Pike ships or something, and he can't maneuver around because he's got a bigger ship. They got smaller ships or something, and he can't quite get them all the way. And then all of a sudden, without the context of the Mandalorian episode, an N1 starfighter comes screaming in and blows them all up. And he's like, "Who is this?" And then he looks, and it's Mando. So if you say we didn't see this episode, we didn't see episode 5, how would the fans react?
Exactly.
Because
if there was no information, about him at all of what he has been doing or anything,
freaking out. It could almost work as like a prequel episode to what's happening.
Yes, especially without episode 5 even the title of it. And so there's so much that is so important that if there was none of that, fans would be going crazy, and then they would be begging for what he's been doing and how he got here.
Yeah, I almost wish, obviously they did this, they have a reason for doing this, but wouldn't it be amazing if they took episode 5 out, and then they did the episodes 6 and 7, but as 5 and 6, and then they added in the Mandalorian episode at the end of the series. as a prequel, unless they're going to do something where they're showing what Mando's been up to. I don't know.
I was just looking at Pike gunships.
Okay, that's what you were doing. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was trying to
Okay.
pull up Pike gunships and my screen was lagging a little bit. But this is what's at least. I think this is. Oh no, that's Clone Wars. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I
think we could see
they got
something
ships.
like that. Yeah.
They freaking got
They
ships.
have a freaking train. They got some ships. They had to get the train there somehow.
Write this down. We are calling so much that's probably going to happen.
Oh, this is being recorded. We have
Oh, I
proof.
forgot.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna see something similar to that. If we don't, I hope it's better than what I said. Oh yes, those ships right there. I love those ones. So yeah. Any final thoughts, you guys, for episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett?
It was very, very well made. And I like how they gave as much as they could of what he's been doing, and now we're ready for what is going to happen with both of them going against the Pikes, and now I'm ready for Mandalorian the next season to come out.
Me too. I'm more I'm more ready for Mando season 3 because I think they're building the story more. Obviously they're gonna bring Grogu back into it because he makes them too much money not to.
Nothing else. The green guy makes some green. So.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna be seeing Mandalore. He's gonna go and bathe in those waters in the mines or whatever. And
I honestly that's something I meant to bring up earlier. I honestly hope he doesn't.
I think he's going to attempt.
I hope he gets there. I hope he gets there and something happens. Yeah. Something happens that he's like, you know what, this is not.
He's going to create a new doctrine for all of Mandalore and reinstate Mandalore after the fall of the Empire as the king of Mandalore, riding the mythosaur, reuniting all clans together.
Mando.
Yeah.
He goes, is there something that could attack him from doing that? And then also him being captured right after.
Well, you just hit it. I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to go to the living waters, to the.
There's going to be something.
What I heard was the freaking fountain of youth, and something's going to be sleeping there.
Something's sleeping there, and but that's also crazy.
Yeah, he's going to go. He's going to go under the
he's going to get attacked,
surface. Yeah,
knocked out or something. He's going to be unconscious, and then he's going to be found by droids or something.
No.
That's what I think.
No.
That's
why would he be? They already did that with Boba Fett. That's just that's regurgitating
my
old
guess
storyline.
Is as they're building up Mando season 3, there's obviously going to be other storylines going on, possibly with Moff Gideon and all kinds of things like that. In Empire stuff with.
Oh, with that, I don't know. Maybe they could see some combat.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd think. Oh, what's the John Esposito or what's his name? The guy who plays Moff Gideon. I think he has said that he is returning. So that we're going to see some sort of conclusion with that. So there's going to be multiple storylines going on. I think we're going to see more Bo-Katan in the fight with Mandalorians and stuff. I think we're going to see it's going to be pinned between her and Mando. I think we're going to see them fight over the Darksaber. Mando's going to end up winning, and at some point he's going to end up going down because he wants to cleanse himself of his sins by removing his helmet, go and bathe in those waters. He's going to find that the waters no longer exist, but he's going to find something else down in those mines. And as the armorer had stated, the mythosaur will rise again. And I think that it's going to be basically, Mando's going to come up, breaking out of the ice, riding a mythosaur, holding the Darksaber as some evil foe is trying to take over Mandalore. I don't know. That's my thoughts.
Maybe. well, at this point, I think Mandalore is basically glassed, isn't it?
I don't know. some
or
of
at
it.
least there's no one living there. I thought that was kind of
Well,
the
yeah,
impression we got from the Night of a Thousand Tear
which
flashback.
I
Nothing's
loved
there.
seeing that. That was awesome.
Gosh, the freaking Capitol building just
I know, just
On
the
Capitol.
Capitol building. That was a capital city.
They're the capital city.
Yeah,
That's
that
what.
was
The
brutal.
capital
Yep.
city.
That actually
Gosh.
reminded me of like Terminator. I don't know if you saw like Terminator.
Yes.
Like the opening of it just
Yes.
was like, holy crap, this is Terminator now. Oh
Well,
my word, we're getting
especially
right back into
with the
this.
freaking hovering drones.
Yeah.
The
lights. And then
drones, and then the glowing eyes of the IG-88 with freaking guns. Not IG-88s. No. I'm thinking, who's the tall guy from
Rogue One?
the tall guy from Rogue One.
K2SO. The K2
Yeah, K2
units,
the K2 units with freaking guns just being like, you're slightly alive, pal.
bang,
You're
bang,
slightly
bang.
alive, pal.
Jeez, yeah,
Yes.
Like they're just walking around, they're just like looking, they stop.
Yeah.
Nah, you're dead. No,
Well,
you're not quite dead.
You know,
Oh.
they chose those guys to go down there because they knew the stormtroopers would die if they were fighting Mandalorians.
Also, yes, like it's
Well,
also probably toxic from everything down there. Like humans and different species would not be able to go. They have to send droids down there because of that.
I think it ties
thing.
back to the the complete merciless method of the CIC. But the CI, what was it? What was the droid army called?
The CIS.
CIS,
yes.
systems, Confederacy of,
Yes, independent systems. Yes.
independent systems, and it's like this is what the Clone Wars was like. Like you had just heartless machines ending it.
Yeah.
For just destroying everything in the past. You saw it in the flashback with Din Djarin when the super droids were just mowing down, excuse me, everything in their path. Women, children, non-combatants, whatever it was, is like our command was to clear out this facility. You're all gonna die.
Yeah.
This is our programming. You're all non-CIS. You're all dead.
Yep. Yeah.
Same thing you saw here. Any living Mandalorian, whatever it was, whoever it was, had your freaking city pod fall down on you and like, nah, you're not quite dead yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a very. It was brutal. To me, it showed this is what the Empire really was. Like this was to me. This was a bit more of like Operation Cinder, which I don't like, but that's a different topic.
Yeah. Yeah. Like obviously we get to see how brutal and heartless the Empire is in, the very first movie in A New Hope. They just blow up Alderaan like it's nothing. They don't care. It's just like you get to see more on a personal level with the Mandalorians.
What was in it? Obi-Wan's line? I felt thousands of voices cried out at once and then were silenced.
Yeah.
Like I don't think, like, as good as that movie was, I don't think that hit as hard as it could have. Like that was a planet.
Yeah. That's
my one beef with Star Wars is like their space opera they lose some gravity when like you just destroyed an Earth.
Yeah.
An entire multiple civilizations, history, culture, a whole
millions of lives,
existence
just gone. Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you see that was just a test. They were going to go and they were going to do it to other worlds as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they had done it previously with Mandalore, with which other planets did they like just completely decimate?
The
ones? The Kashyyyk, they went in and enslaved like all the
Wookiees. Kashyyyk didn't really receive that much because it was such a fuel, one of the largest fuel reserves. Like there was a very resource rich planet.
Well, they took control of it. and
they
didn't care about the
enslaved the
Wookiees. Like,
Wookiees,
I'm
and
not,
they
yeah,
destroyed sections of their homeland.
yeah, exactly.
But there was
I'm not saying like completely demolish the entire surface of the planet or blow it up, but like it's just the cruelty of the Empire where they are
they
heartless.
freaking bombed. What was the bug planet? They drove those guys into near extinction, like we saw in Rebels.
Genosha.
Like the
Genosha.
freaking chemical, they would use chemical warfare on them
Yeah,
because they helped build the Death Star, and they were
Yeah,
trying to keep it
they
secret.
were trying to keep it quiet, so
Yeah,
they just slaughtered them.
yeah.
Yeah, and it just is crazy to see, just like the continuing like heartbreak that the Empire has caused across the entire galaxy. And they ruled, for like 18 years. Well, a little bit longer because
27
yeah,
years.
yeah. So because if people acted out, if any worlds acted out,
Yeah,
that's what they got. And I think
yeah.
that's why they targeted Mandalore so heavily, because it is if they
I
if they
think
had a
that was
little
the
bit of
real
time.
threat. That was a threat, and
Yeah,
then they destroyed not Endor. Blanking.
Kashyyyk. Well, not
No,
destroyed,
no.
but which one?
Leia's planet. Leia's home planet.
Alderaan. Yeah, because they were
Alderaan.
plotting. They were plotting against the Empire.
Well, they were yeah, they were plotting against it as like it was a sign. It was a sign of this is how far like you
Yeah.
guys don't have a large standing military against us. You're not,
Yeah.
you're honestly
Because
a planet of philosophers and artists.
yeah, Leia's
And
father was the head of the rebellion.
yep,
Essentially, he was
yep,
helping orchestrate all kinds, like the rebellion, and orchestrate all of the basically
yeah.
trying
Senator
to
Organa did so
yes,
was such an understated character through honestly like the whole freaking series,
yeah, and
both movies
that's
and the Clone
why,
Wars.
yeah, and that's and the, and people knew that
Yeah,
the people in the rebellion knew that Senator Organa was so prevalent in the planning and the orchestration of the rebellion, and when they saw that their empire's just like, okay, we know what you're doing, we're gonna blow up your world,
mhm.
and that's like the fact that the rebellion stood even in the face of that is just like like respect. That like wow, they were like, okay, they can blow up our world, and they were about to. They literally were on their base, and they still were like, attack,
Yep,
on Yavin. Like they were literally in their sights and they were like, nope,
yep,
we're still gonna fight to the bitter end. They could have escaped. They could have surrendered. Nope.
yep.
Yeah. So yeah. uh yeah. It was cool to see Night of 1,000 Tears, just to see the add more weight to the rest of the saga. Uh,
Well, it really showed. I think, like if Moff Gideon comes back, because he was part of that.
Yeah.
He was part of the group that orchestrated that destruction.
Mm-hmm.
So it really gives you an idea of this is how bad this guy is, and like he plays this kind of character in like even the video game he's in. He's like, I'm an evil mastermind. I'm an evil mastermind. And he does it so well.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Well, we've gone rather long.
Yeah.
We've had a good conversation. I think this was a really good episode. It was fun talking with you guys once again. Will, I think next week you should definitely get a light. I can
You want us
provide.
to mail you a light bulb?
I have an extra light bulb. I can get you a light bulb.
Yeah.
After this, I can see you running through the snowstorm. Just
All right.
Yeah, it is. I'm surprised our stream didn't go down at all, because it is currently like storming heavily outside.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
been
we've been
crazy.
in the green this entire time.
Or maybe that's why we have no views. No one else in Maine has been able to watch us.
that too.
everybody's power is out.
None of our friends can see us. That's why no one's watching.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, all right, guys, it's been fun. All right. Kevin, did you have anywhere that you wanted people to find you on the internet at all?
Oh, same as last time. You can find me. I'm on Twitter under the same handle as I am here.
And what is your
Entling,
what is
Entling Inkling.
Entling Inkling?
And actually, no. Twitter is my Twitter does have my regular name, Kevin Kidd. Same on Instagram. And then if you want to follow me on TikTok, it's voice4 the radio.
All
so
right.
Got a few skits on there.
Awesome. I did check out some of those. Some of those are pretty funny.
Yeah.
And
it's been a little while.
Yeah.
Having a baby kind of threw off the schedule.
Yep. I understand that.
Yep.
Gavin, where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me on YouTube. GMS is the name, no spaces, all caps. Yeah.
All right.
I do the same things that I've been doing.
All right. And then Will, last week we could find you in what was it, your local police department? Is that where it was? You were in jail or something like that? Where can people find you this week?
But this week you can find me in your local illegal safe house because I broke out of jail.
All right.
The saga continues.
From an undisclosed location.
Is that why you weren't? You were being quiet.
Oh, you're hiding.
Yes, someone can hear you in there.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't get you a light bulb. Oh my.
Newspapers
feel
for
around.
the
I know
windows,
it's
that's
pretty
what
dark
he
in
needs.
there, but feel around for maybe a little pull. There might be light.
It is an undisclosed location, but it is local.
Oh.
So
All
go
right.
ahead.
Wow.
Don't get too specific now.
Yeah, we don't want anyone to find you. All right. Well, you guys can follow me at Digital Film Reel on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the like button, comment, do all the things, hit the bell, all the things that YouTube wants you to do to boost the algorithm. You guys can follow me at Digital Film Reel on Twitter and Instagram. I haven't posted recently because I am in the middle of moving, so it's been pretty.
Oh, that's
hectic
right. We may
here.
not get another episode next week.
I'm hoping that we can get it set up. I got to get the internet set up because we're moving on Friday, so I got to try to make sure the internet is set up for us to do this again on Saturday. Fingers crossed. If not, maybe we could shoot for Sunday. We'll find out. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining me.
All right, man.
You guys all have a good night. Au revoir.